I look like a bomb. I don't want nobody to see me right now.
So, hello everyone. We're gonna start talking about hair. So, let's just start with the whole brief history of how hair is important to people of Black descent. So, if you don't know this, people of Northern Africa actually have this mythology surrounding them and hair. They believe that hair is the closest thing to God because Northern Africans they usually have this belief of the sun being the god, and usually from their own point of view, when you actually if God was the sun, if he's looking down, the first thing he's going to see is your hair. So they have this belief that your hair is effing important. So usually they would decorate their hair, do so many intricate designs. And during that period of time was during the period of time when Africa flourished the most. We'd hear stories of Mansa Musa, different empires being created and stuff like that. It was a period when Africa was in very close relationship with who she was, and we really benefited during that period. And then we had the slave era. So basically, during that period of time, I don't know if you guys know this, but there is actually a mythology in, I think, Western Africa, where it says that the end of an empire is going to start with the coming of a white man. So during that period of time, the white came to Africa. They gave us so many things. Like from what I heard, they would give things as simple as a mirror, an umbrella, and we as Africans, some of us actually sold our fellow black brothers to the whites, and they were forced to go for journeys so far to the US. And now on getting to the US, a different place entirely, a different atmosphere, climate change, everything, they were basically stripped from the natural things that they used to take care of their hair. Like for example, now in Nigeria, the most what some things that we use for our hair is like shea butter. We have it a lot in Nigeria, but in the US you can't grow shea butter. So they had their hair culture stripped from them, and it was a very severe situation. And if you actually look through history books, you don't really see any important thing that happened during that period of time when it came to black people. And then we have the era of perming hair. So basically, um, hair that was permed wasn't something that was popular around then. It was actually found by accident. So there was this black dude, he was just trying to repair something, and then he realized that the grease or solution he was using actually made his hair straighter. And because we were surrounded by all these white people and we felt segregated from them, and also because of the fact that mixed kids at that time were treated preferentially than them, and also people who had lighter skin were treated preferentially than those who had dark skin, people wanted to have anything that would make them to be identified with the white people. And so we have so many issues of perming. So perming came in, people started perming their hair to look more white. It was something that was in vogue. It was something that helped people blend into the society after slavery was abolished and stuff like that. So during this period of time, down here in Africa, there were a lot of things that were happening that was just not really shown. For example, um, in Africa here, we had a lot of scenarios where we started wanting to prime our hair because we realized that we wanted to look more So sorry about that. My network was messing up with me. So would have scenarios where people of black descent were being treated unfairly for licking themselves. And then so things just started happening, and then we decided to just perm our hair. It was a lot better, it was a lot faster. Once you perm your hair, you look a lot more white. And then it became like a tradition that was passed on from generation to generation. And it got to an extent where we almost lost each and every one of our hair culture. We basically didn't even know who we were anymore. There was this, we're just caught up in this circle of wanting to look a lot more white. And that's when the natural hair community came. But it usually came in the 1960s at first with the Black Power movement. So the Black Power movement came in, and there was a lot of things going on. If you check history books, you would see that during that period of time, people were actually proud to wear their natural hair. They were proud to wear their afro, and that's when the whole Black Power movement started. Now, if you see some afro combs at the back of it or at the hand, you would see an actually clenched fist like this. And this is used to reference the Black Power movement of the 1960s, when the first ever worldwide acceptance for black hair started. And this is a very important part of our history because it was during this time that we slowly started to educate ourselves on who we were and what we wanted to be like. So, um, that aside, that happened, and that system was okay. We actually had a lot of improvement during that period of time. But then I think the perms came back again. They came back again in full force. We started seeing perms that had no lie. We started seeing them advertising perms for girls, like little kids. So it was seeming like the perms weren't bad anymore. And we started to slowly go back to the whole perm state. And then I think in the early 2000s, it became worse because our mothers started seeing extreme hair loss, and there was a lot of scenarios going on. You'd see a lot of videos online showing when someone had their hair literally permed and basically their hair was just falling off. And it was a catastrophic scenario that happened during that period of time. And hey guys, I'm so sorry about that. It's raining here and the network is really, really messing up. And so it was during this period I was talking about the Black Power movement, and after that, I talked about hair and perming, how it started all over again. And then we started talking about how in the early 20s, people started reverting back to their natural hair. So, natural hair community came back, and for a moment, we hope that it is here to stay. Now, it's not something that is going to be easily accepted by the whites because, as we've seen, there are a lot of people or reports of people who were black being fired because they wore the natural hair. We have a lot of issues of kids being kicked out of class because they have locks. So there is a lot of thin stereotypes surrounding black hair that even we as black people we actively contribute to it. For example, in Ethiopia, when the white people came, those people decided to wear their locks out, to just wear their hair in its natural state, and that's when locks started to form in their hair. It was kind of like a form of rebellion with their hair to show that they were not going to literally go down like that and literally just stay put with the white standards. And you would see that over the years, we've actually accompanied the name locks with the word dread. So basically, we now have a compound word called dreadlocks. And it's something that I believe that we as people of African descent shouldn't associate ourselves with. I mean, sharing the name of something called dreadlocks isn't going to sound as inviting to someone who doesn't know anything about their hair. Um, I just believe that as Africans, we should try our best to um, with something that shows who we are. So I'm reading your comments now. Um, Lukumo Mapeso, you're asking me which country I am from, where I'm from Nigeria, and he said he's watching from Zambia, and he said it's very nice to hear your voice. So, um, sorry about that, Taylor. Hey, Taylor,
Yes.
I can hear you now.
Okay. Okay. I was just trying to let you know I couldn't. Most of the stuff you were saying went out. I
Yeah.
didn't even. I didn't even hear most of it. I was.
Okay. So, on the group chat, we have a PDF file, the full overview of everything.
Okay.
So if you missed anything, you should probably get it in the PDF file.
Okay. 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 So will you be doing this broadcast every day?
No, I'll be doing this broadcast every Sunday.
You said, hold on, because
Eh,
the phone keep going in and out. I think you said. I think you said every Sunday.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
thanks.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. Um, everyone, I'm so sorry if the network is really, really, really bad. It over here it's raining and the whole thing is just messed up. But the whole thing, the whole importance of this class or this video class was basically for us to be educated a lot about what's going on in Africa and a lot about our hair. Now, if in case you missed anything that happened or anything I said because of the network, I would hope that you guys would be able to check on the GPAN Queens group chat so that you guys can get the whole PDF file. I'll be putting that on the group chat by the end of tomorrow so you guys can get the full overview of everything that I said. This is just for us to open our eyes to see that black hair has come a long way. And okay, black hair has come a long way and we should always try to embrace it. Wendell Bradley said that he doesn't like the fact that Africans act as if our hairs isn't as good as extensions. He's also talking about letting go of our extensions like Indian hair and African hair and letting go of
When looking at the official flags of African nations, there seems to be a common trend, and this is not a coincidence. Many African countries use the elements of the Pan-African flag, which has two different color sets. The first set is green, gold, and red, and the other set is red, black, and green. The first color set mentioned is influenced by the Ethiopian flag. Ethiopia, also known as Abyssinia, was one of 3 African nations to survive the scramble for Africa. A year after defeating the Italians in the First Italo-Ethiopian War, Abyssinia's emperor, Menelik II, ordered this color scheme to be used in their flag. Each of these colors have their own specific meaning. Green represents the richness and the fertility of our land as well as hope. The gold represents religious freedom and peace. And the red represents the sacrifice of our fathers who spilled their blood in defense of Ethiopia. As decades passed, many newly independent countries began to use these colors out of admiration for Ethiopia, the first being Ghana in 1957, followed by many other countries. The second color set that contained the colors red, black, and green were not a creation made by Africans, but rather by African Americans in the United States. This flag was created by the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League, but we will just call them UNIA to make things easier. The UNIA created this flag in response to the popular coon song, "Every Race Has a Flag But the Coon," and yes, coon music is a genre, and that was a real song. Much like the other color set, each of the colors have their own specific meaning. Red represents the blood that unites all the people of black ancestry and the shed for liberation, and black represents black people whose existence as a nation, though not a nation state, is affirmed by the existence of the flag, and green represents the abundant natural wealth of Africa. This color set has also appeared to be the theme of many African nations' flags, along with some Caribbean nation flags. In some cases, these color sets become blended together, like the Jamaican and the South African flag. The Pan-African flag is just one instance where countries have influenced each other's flags and even culture. This can also be seen through the Pan-Slavic flag, the Pan-Arabic flag, and the Nordic cross. A country's flag could be quite telling of its history and cultural values. That is it for today's video. Thank you all for watching, and be sure to subscribe to see more videos like this one, and I hope to see you all in the next chapter.